I'm pleased to be here to officiate the handover of these new buildings that was destroyed during Cyclone Winston. The government funded these rehabilitation works to provide a safe and modern teaching and learning environment for our students. Based on government's policy, all our new buildings are built better to withstand Category 5 cyclone. Also, these buildings are in compliance with the Fiji National Building Code and has a valid engineer's certificate. It simply means that you can also insure this building so that the buildings are protected if you have another Category 5 cyclone. Ladies and gentlemen, the cost of the works carried out is in the sum of $1.6 million. So you can see $1.6 million is not a small amount. It's a substantial amount that's been given to the people of Naloto, to the surrounding area of Naloto, because we value education. We value the contribution the community made. Ladies and gentlemen, Naloto District School, as I was coming up to the school, I saw it's written there. It was established in 1947. That's really before independence, before Fiji gained independence. And it's a clear indication that our forefathers understood the value of education, and therefore the community came together to build a school so that their children can go to school. So today I pay my deepest respect to the past and the present School Management Committee, as well as the community who had the foresight and the desire to build a school so that our children can study. So Vinaka Vakalevu. And I know for sure that through this school, thousands of children from the nearby communities got their education. It was from this school. So your investment is not wasted, because all these children who went through this school have made they have made something out of their life. Whether they have become good farmers, or they have taken up some professional work outside, or they're just simply a very good member of the community. Ladies and gentlemen, the result of the rehabilitation work can be seen in the form of 4 1-by-2 teachers' quarters and a generator room. In addition to this, some major upgrading work was also carried out to the classroom block, dormitories, teachers' quarters, evolution block, and the walkway. And as you walk up to this place, you can just see that this place looks new. The classrooms are beautifully tiled, and that is the vision of the government. No matter where the school is, it's immaterial. It doesn't mean that when the schools are in the urban area, they deserve all the good things. No. We treat each and every school same, whether it is in the remotest area, whether it's in maritime zone, or whether it's in town or city center. There is no differentiation. And we will continue to do that. I also like to thank Jain's Construction Private Limited. Is anyone there from Jain's Construction? If none, then still I would request the community to pass on our thanks to this company. And why I specifically want to thank this company, because they managed to complete this work on time. I mean, we have seen there are a number of projects where the delay is on the part of the construction company. But in this particular case, despite COVID-19, the company managed to complete the work. So today we will hand over this great asset to the School Management Committee. So from today onwards, Ministry of Education has nothing to do with this building. It is yours. You look after it, you maintain the building, and you make sure that the state of the building remains as we give it to you. I will also request the head of school to make sure that you develop an asset maintenance plan so that the school buildings are well looked after. What we have seen that the school management committee and the head of school, they do not have a school maintenance plan. We only react when there is a problem and we need to do some big fixing in the school. That's when we get up and say, okay, so where is the money? Now we have to fix this classroom. But if you have a maintenance plan, you'll know exactly after how many years you need to paint the place, or you need to wash the outside, or you need to change the windows or doors, or fix the evolution block. So it's very important to have a maintenance plan and start saving some money towards that so that you can look after the premises. I also like to highlight to you that ministry is not obliged to provide teachers' quarters in any schools, as these are provided by the owners of the school. And who are the owners of the school? Is the school management committee. Right? We don't build staff quarters. However, considering the extent damage that was caused to this school, the government stepped in and said, no, we will build this place for the school management committee. We will renovate the school for the school management committee. Now, I want you to reflect. Just imagine if the government did not step in, because this building belongs to you. Can you imagine how much money you all would have to raise to build this? And fundraising would continue. It simply means that the community had to raise money to build and rebuild the property that you see. But today, you are relieved of that burden. You don't have to fork out any money from your pocket to build this. So you are relieved from this financial burden. And that's why we felt that for a small farming community tucked away in the interiors of Ba, obviously, the government must assist you, because you cannot do it on your own. How will you raise $1.6 million? Tell me. It can never happen. So that's why we stepped in to assist the committee. Only request that I'm going to make is to the school management committee as well as to the teachers, that please make sure that you treat the teachers' quarters as your home. Look after it well, so that when the next round of teachers come in, they find that quarters in the same way as we are leaving it for you. And you leave it in the same way for the next batch of teachers. That's all I'm asking from you. You all know that the climate change has a huge impact on Fiji and also on small island developing countries. Climate change has been having a huge impact on our schooling outcomes. Whenever we have a major cyclone, what do we see? All our schools are taken up for evacuation centers. Right? It simply means for that period, our children cannot go back to school. So now what we are doing is we are building schools so strong that we don't have to spend money again to rebuild after each and every cyclone. That's why I emphasize that these buildings that you see are constructed to withstand Category 5 cyclone. So that way you have a lot of protection. Ladies and gentlemen, since T.C. Winston in 2016, the government has invested in excess of $240 million in rebuilding and repairing schools damaged by cyclones. And there are a number of schools ready for commissioning. I know that it takes longer to build a government funded structures, because we have to be accountable. It's unlike your own home. When you want to build your own home, you don't have to follow many procedures. You just simply say, all right, this is my architect, you draw the drawings, and this is my contractor, he'll start the work, and if they don't do the work, I'll change my contractor. You can do it very easily. But when it is government funded project, everything is audited by the Auditor General. And we have to follow the procedure to make sure that the job is done well and the money is well spent and we get value for money. So that's why sometimes it takes longer. And COVID-19 has not helped us at all. It has caused a lot of setback in building some of these structures. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to share with you and I want to emphasize that a lot has changed in the education sector for better. In the past, the community had to fundraise, as I mentioned earlier on, and you had to raise a lot of money. And who all were involved? Not only the community, the teachers were involved in fundraising, even the students were involved in fundraising. And for parents, they had double burden. One was their contribution as a community member. They had to contribute to the fundraising and then also give money to the children so that they can also contribute to the building of this structure. But ladies and gentlemen, that was in the past. As you know, the government made the decision that we will not have fundraising in the school. We do not wish to disrupt teaching and learning. And the government started giving free education grant. And even this school is receiving free education grant, and the school management committee can wisely use that money with the help of the head of school. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to highlight few other matters pertaining to national interest. And to start off, I cannot hold back my excitement on what I noticed earlier this week when I was in Momi for my official meeting, and on Tuesday in Nandronga for the launching of the pottery making house. The sparkles in the eyes of Fijians, the trademark Bula smile, soothing traditional songs says it all. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is what I have seen happening in Nandi and Coral Coast as Fiji opened its international border from 1st of December. It was a very unusual sight when I was in Momi to hear the Australian accent, to hear the traditional songs and Christmas carols being sung by our people, as if we are back to pre-COVID days. Unfortunately, pre-COVID days simply means that we had reached the height of our tourism. Our tourism industry was a $1 billion industry, but now for us to go back to $1 billion, to make tourism sector again a $1 billion industry will take some time. But I can see that our people are very strong, they're committed, they're driven by passion, and we will be able to achieve that target. At this stage, I also wish to sincerely thank my teachers and ancillary staff for making wise decisions in getting vaccinated. And I'm encouraging other Fijians to do the same. Can you imagine if we did not get ourselves vaccinated, today we could not have opened the border. And because of each one of you who took that jab in your arm, it is because of you we managed to open the borders. And we're going to get our economy in order. And through economy, the money we raise, then we can build the school, rehabilitate the school. And if the community wants a road and the bridge, we'll be able to build all that, because it's all about our economy. If our economy is doing well, the country is doing well. And you can see the sign of our economy, which did very well, and that's why the commitment was made to build this school. I'm also I'm happy to share with you that 39% of 12 to 14-year-old children have received the first jab of the Pfizer vaccine, and 7% are fully vaccinated since it was rolled out on 15th of November. 74% of our students aged 15 to 17 have received their first dose of Moderna vaccine, and 55% are now fully vaccinated. So the data is very impressive, and again I thank the students and parents for making the right decision. Whilst talking about vaccination and COVID-19, I wish to take this wonderful opportunity to appreciate the efforts of our teachers around the nation who have worked tirelessly and have contributed towards the nation's fight against COVID 19. Apart from preparing and delivering the worksheets and conducting online learning for the students. This morning, before I came to this school, I dropped by, or I was just passing by, so I thought that I'll just drop in to see how the teachers were doing at St. Thomas Primary School. So St. Thomas Primary School is the center for vaccination, and when we walked in, there were over 30 teachers happily engaged in the work of Ministry of Health in assisting the health officials in the vaccination program. And for that reason, I call my teachers that you are the real COVID warriors, and you have assisted in the vaccination verification of data. You have assisted in managing the isolation centers, creating COVID-19 awareness, supporting vaccination drive at various centers. Your contribution is worth noting, and I thank you once again. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to remind our parents and guardians, sometimes we take things for granted. We feel that this is how things were 20 years ago, 30 years ago. In fact, this is not how things were 20 years ago. And I want you to remember that the government has made a huge investment in the education sector, in the education of our children. Every year in our national budget, $700 million is given to Ministry of Education for the education of our children. I don't know whether you still remember those days when we had to send our children to school and we had to find money for their school fees. And if we did not pay the school fees, then the head of school or the principal or the head teacher will send that child out of the classroom and say, you go home and get your parents. I want to talk to them why they did not pay the school fees. You remember those days? And also, do remember, if you had 5 children or 6 children, it meant a lot of money had to be set aside for the school fees. Along with that, we had to also look for the money so that we could buy the textbooks, pay for the bus fares, and it was a huge cost to the parents. But today, the government has made education a key priority for the nation, and we are now providing free education grant, and the free education grant is ensuring that financial burden is taken away from the school committees and the community. Transport assistance, obviously it increases accessibility to schools. Free textbooks. I remember going into bookshops looking for the textbooks and other stationery for our children. Sometimes we had to stand in long queues, overcrowded bookshops, and then come home and start covering the books, writing the children's name on the cover, and prepare everything for the child to go back to the school. But you see, those days are over. In most cases, the textbooks are available in the school. You don't have to hire textbooks. All that is gone. So you, as an individual, must realize the contribution the government has made in the education of your child. And no other government did this previously. We don't stop here. I want to also talk about Tails and Toppers scheme. If your child wants to become a doctor, a nurse, a lawyer, or a teacher, he or she can now realize their dream. And that dream can be realized because the scholarship and the loan facility is there. Previously, only children from rich homes could afford to go to universities, or if children can get a scholarship. Those parents who could not afford to send their children to universities, unfortunately, those children stayed back and they did not excel in life. But we have created a system which is equitable and fair to each and every citizen. So all this initiative that we see across the nation was done to ensure there is no disparity in terms of education accessibility and quality. We cannot say this school is good, that school is bad, because all schools are same. Why? We give you same amount of free education grant, we recruit teachers, we send the teachers in the school, and also we look after the premises. So all in all, there should not be any discrimination or you can say categorization of schools from that point of view. All schools are same, and the education is also same. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I take my seat, let me remind once more to the teachers and management and the entire Naloto community to please take care of the new building and treat it as your biggest asset, because only you started this school. We only came in to help you to run this school. I also request parents and guardians to look after the children. We will be soon going on holiday. All the teachers will be taking leave from 17th of December, which is next week, that they go on holiday. And the kids will be at home. And often we see during Christmas time and when the children are at home, if they are not taken care of, then there are some mishaps that can happen. So please take care of them. And I now take the opportunity to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2022. Thank you. Vinaka Vakalevu.
Thank you, ma'am.